the infamous one, Jimmy Toots Holmes with Toots' tips and a sizzling 11-1 mark last week.
Well, I'm getting my game face on. You know, it's getting a little later on in the season, and it's time you got to pick it up and put them down and do this thing right. So overall, I guess I'm still pretty good.
39-16.
That's not too shabby at all. But, you know, I think what happened is all the food I've been eating at the Huddle House. I ate out there again yesterday morning.
Oh, yeah?
Before we went to play golf.
Can I mention something to you?
Sure.
There's a big difference in Kellogg frozen waffles. Big difference between them and the waffles you get at the Huddle House.
I did not eat the waffle yesterday, but I ate about 3 dozen eggs. And no, seriously, I had the eggs and sausage and grits and had biscuit and coffee, and boy, I'm going to tell you one thing.
Oh, you're getting your golf game together, wasn't you?
That ain't the half of it. When it came time to eat lunch, Ronnie Miner and myself, neither one of us could eat. We were still full from breakfast.
I guess so.
So he filled us up pretty good yesterday morning, and didn't have to golf game none, but saved me a little money because I didn't have to eat lunch.
There you go. Huddle House will fill you up.
Absolutely.
3 locations, Sylacauga, Harpersville, and Chelsea. The Huddle House presents Toots' Tips every Thursday morning. Let's get going. A lot of big matchups.
Yep.
Number 6, Texas A&M against number 12, Mississippi State. That's an 11 o'clock kick Saturday morning.
Well, you know, Jim, I've been telling all my friends, I said, you better look out for Mississippi State.
They got some grown people over there.
I'm telling you, they got their offensive line is bigger than any line in football.
I think it's 329-pound average, something like that.
Not college, but college, whatever. So where has that game been played? It's at Starkville, is it not?
It is, yes.
I'm going to tell you what, in a mile upset, I got to go with the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
You know, it is a big weekend for the state of Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
With 2 huge top 10 matchups. Number 3, Alabama is at number 11, Ole Miss, and that's over at Oxford.
Well, this Mississippi thing is going to split 50-50. Ole Miss, I don't think can beat Alabama, so I got to go with the Crimson Tide in Oxford, Mississippi.
Florida at Tennessee. You know, that game used to be so big.
It is, but now neither one ranked, and Tennessee is so young. Florida, the jury's still out on them. They played Alabama pretty tough for about a half, and zip, that was it. So, is it in Knoxville?
Yeah, you know, Tennessee played Georgia tough.
Yes, they did. Just for the sake of playing in Neyland Stadium with the 107,000 people screaming and carrying on, I got to go with the Tennessee Hound Dogs.
Another top 25 matchup, number 25 TCU. Host number 4, Oklahoma. Is this an ambush?
It could be, but I don't think so. Bob Stoops has got those kids playing pretty well. You got to go with the Boomer Sooners. They got a pretty good football team. Down the road, somebody will clip them, but it's not going to be the Horned Frogs. Texas
hosting number 7 Baylor on Saturday.
Well, Jim, I had the opportunity to watch Baylor play a little bit the other night. Charlie Strong has run off about 9 of the kids, and I admire him for that because they can't follow the rules. In given time, I think he'll have Texas back to where they used to be in prominence. But as of right now, the Baylor Bears will prevail over them cows.
Number 14, Stanford, and here's Notre Dame in the top 10, ranked at number 9.
Well, who has Notre Dame played? Nobody. Right?
Well, they'll play somebody Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Is that out on the West Coast?
Nope, that is at South Bend.
Well, I think a mile upset may be in order there. I got to go with the Fighting Irish at home.
All right. Number 13, Georgia, got by last week by the hair of their chinny chin chin against, they will play Vandy in Athens this week. Probably should be easier, shouldn't it?
Well, I think it's a pretty easy pick. I think Nate Brewer could probably pick this one. You got to go with the Bulldogs at home.
Number 13, Georgia over Vanderbilt. A team that I like to watch because it's got an Alabama flavor, South Alabama at Appalachian State.
You know, Appalachian State's the team, and I'm probably beating a dead horse to death, that went into the big house and upset Michigan several years ago. Joey Jones has got his kids playing pretty well down in South Alabama. Appalachian State, I don't think it's doing quite so well this year. I'm going to go with the Jaguars.
All right. Joey Jones and the South Alabama Jaguars. A team that's really made some improvement. Their record is 2-2. UAB is at Western Kentucky.
Well, I'm going to tell you, isn't it Clark, the new coach over at UAB? He's done an outstanding job, and he's won everywhere he's been. Over at Jack State.
Well, 2 games is a successful season for UAB in recent
years.
years.
They lost to Mississippi State,
but they scored a lot of points against State.
That. I'm just going to tell you.
You know who's at Western Kentucky, right?
Oh yeah.
Who's at Western Kentucky?
That guy. Yeah. We know so well.
Well, you know who came from Western Kentucky? Petrino. He left there and went to Louisville.
Yeah.
But, Western Kentucky has built a pretty good program there.
I'm going to tell you, I don't like the Hilltoppers to start with.
Are you going with the Blazers then?
I'm going to go with UAB Blazers.
All right. South Carolina, beaten again last week. A team that's going to give them trouble. They're at Kentucky to take on the Wildcats.
They are, and I've been to Lexington, Kentucky to watch a football game, and it's a place that gets very, very loud. But I think the Chickens will crow pretty strong and sort of pluck them Wildcats pretty good over there. Steve Spurrier's hard to beat 2 or 3 times in a row, and he'll have his kids ready to play. And
would you have thought South Carolina would already have 2 losses?
No, I would not in the East anyway. And, speaking of these East and West divisions, there's not a team in the Western Division that's got a loss in conference play.
That'll change.
That will all change come Saturday.
Maybe the premier game. We'll get to that one in just a minute. Let's look at number 19, Nebraska, at number 10, Michigan State.
The Spartans have been playing pretty good, and them corn shuckers, I don't know. Bolini, the jury may still be.
A whole lot of people like him up in
they don't.
Nebraska.
His brother, even worse. I just tell you, I just don't. I don't see the corn shuckers going in there and winning.
All right, take Michigan State over number 19, Nebraska. And maybe the biggest game of the day, one of the biggest games at least, number 15 LSU at number 5 Auburn.
Jim, I'm going to tell you, this is a statement I heard by the ESPN analysts. The other night before the ball game was over, they said that no team that's highly ranked wants ESPN to do their games because they have all lost.
Uh-oh.
Now, will that tradition continue? Will it change? Auburn's offense has been sputtering quite a bit. The defense is starting to play a little better. I think Auburn's defense will keep them in the ball game, and I think Nick Marshall will find a way to win the ball game, maybe throwing a pass or whatever. But Auburn's offense has got to start clicking, or somewhere down the road they're going to get beat.
Yeah.
I made this statement. I don't think there's a team in the SEC West that's going to make it to the championship game without a loss.
I tell you, it's brutal in that West now.
It is brutal. And the Auburn Tigers, after LSU, they got Mississippi State, Ole Miss,
Georgia,
Alabama. So they got a murderous row. And but LSU, I know, has pulled the upset down at Jordan-Hare on more than one occasion.
Now, they've got 2 losses, right, LSU?
Yes, they lost, who did they lose to? They lost to Mississippi State, and I think they just got
lost
one.
Lost to A&M, didn't they? Didn't they lose to A&M?
They've not played A&M.
Anyway, but LSU, they get more players drafted every year to the NFL than most any team in the nation.
Well, that's what's wrong with their roster right now, Jim. They had so many go in the last 2 years, and LSU's a pretty young football team. Auburn has got some experience, and I hope the experience pays off. But I'm going to go with the Auburn Tigers at Jordan-Hare.
The Mad Hatter will be there.
The Mad Hatter will be there. Even though the ESPN analyst says you don't want ESPN to do your game if you're ranked in the top 10, because you lose. So we'll just see if that holds true. Hope it don't, but it's a possibility.
11-1 last week was Toots' Tips. 39-16 overall. Brought to you by the Huddle House, where they're always open and always fresh.
And you just can't beat their meals. I'm going to tell you that if you find a better breakfast somewhere better than there, I'll buy it for you.
You know what? Not just breakfast, but any meal on the menu,
any meal,
you can get
anytime.
24/7.
You can go in there at 2 o'clock in the morning and want breakfast, or you go in there at 2 o'clock in the morning want a hamburger steak.
Or a salad.
It doesn't matter. It's all there. It's always fresh, and the people are just outstanding when you walk in the door. And I finally just had to tell the waitress yesterday morning, I said, please don't bring me no more coffee. Because every time that cup was empty and I set it down, there she was. So, but again, just good people. And those people stay there a long, long time.
Oh, yeah.
And if you got a
It's
place
unusual, isn't it?
where you work and there's not a whole lot of turnover, you know things are pretty well.
Yeah. Toots and I will be over at Legion Stadium tomorrow night for Sylacauga hosting Talladega. It is Sylacauga's homecoming. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you, I hope that Matt Griffith got his kids ready to play. You know, Sylacauga went over to Springville, and they won the ball game late. Mm-hmm. Okay, Talladega beat Springville.
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, I agree. So I hope that Coach Griffith got his kids ready to play. Again, homecoming. We did Comer's homecoming, and I think it's all good that we're going to do Sylacauga's homecoming. And I just hope, I think Sylacauga will prevail. But look out, the Talladega is playing pretty well right now.
And Talladega and Sylacauga have played some really close games down through the years.
I'm going to tell you what, Jim, these folks just don't like one another.
Right.
20
miles apart?
Yeah, really. It's been a bit of rivalry for a long, long time. And I'm telling you, it'll be a slobber knocker affair at Legion Field.
No, Coach Herring at Talladega was an assistant at B.B. Comer.
Yeah, he left Comer and went to Talladega, and he done a good job at Comer. And most of the time, when you see a assistant coach doing a good job, he's going to have a head coaching job real soon. Yeah. So Coach Herring will bring his Tigers down, and I hope Coach Griffith got his Aggies ready to go.
All right. Toots' Tips brought to you by the Huddle House. Let's do it again next week.